But without properly casting this, I cannot say that it's out of the realm of human possibility. That Bigfoot is not discovered. Just by being out there, there's a possibility of making other discoveries. So it's never in vain.
Terrifying footage revealed 4 creatures closing in on researcher Mireya during her Bigfoot expedition. Deep in a hidden forest, Mireya and her team, equipped only with their thermal cameras, picked up chilling shapes moving swiftly through the trees. The air was thick with the sounds of the unknown, heightening the tension as they edged closer to a secluded lake. What happens when these shadowy figures surround Mireya? Tune in. Let's expose the mystery of these 4 menacing creatures together. The mysterious noises of a quiet lake. Ronnie and Mireya started their journey on opposite sides of a quiet hidden lake, each taking their own path through the thick forest. They both carried thermal cameras to help them see areas that were out of sight. As they explored, strange sounds echoed from the woods and large animals showed up on their thermal scanners. As Ronnie and Mireya pressed deeper into the woods, the signals from their scanners began to overlap, pointing them toward an ancient, abandoned cabin. In this episode of Expedition Bigfoot, the team split up tasks, with each member taking a spot around the quiet mountain lake. Ronnie went to the northern side while Mireya took the southern route. Their goal was to walk through the woods and hopefully guide a mysterious creature toward the water. The team thought the lake might be a place where these unknown animals came to drink. Russell, who was organizing everything, believed that the noise Ronnie and Mireya made would scare the creature and drive it toward the lake. Using a drone controlled by an iPad, Russell kept watch for heat signals that might show any animals moving near the water. Mireya and Ronnie, now far apart, made their way toward the lake from opposite directions, carefully scanning the forest for any signs of life. As the night grew darker, Mireya moved through the eerie forest with only her thermal camera lighting the way. She saw signs that something big had been nearby. Branches were twisted and the ground was trampled. The darkness was so thick that she could only see a few inches ahead. Ronnie was dealing with his own challenges. The forest floor was covered with broken twigs and branches, which made it easy to trip and hurt himself. He moved carefully, staying in touch with Russell to update him on his progress. Suddenly, Mireya froze. A loud, creepy noise broke the silence, making her worry about how safe they really were. "Do you hear that? Something's coming," she whispered, her voice tense as the sound of cracking branches got closer. But that wasn't the worst part. Mireya realized the noise wasn't just around her, it was also above her. This surprising discovery made things even more complicated. She quickly used her radio to tell Russell and Ronnie about the strange situation. She mentioned that leaves were falling even though there wasn't any wind. She asked if they had noticed anything weird, but Russell said everything seemed normal on his end. Feeling more anxious but still curious, Mireya decided to stay where she was, carefully watching her surroundings. Meanwhile, Ronnie, moving slowly but steadily, kept pushing through the thick forest. He stayed alert, knowing that any small movement could mean danger. Both Ronnie and Mireya were on edge, their senses sharp as they braved the night surrounded by the mysterious shadows of the forest. As he got closer to the lake, Ronnie moved carefully, trying not to make any noise or sudden movements. Then he heard something rustling in the trees nearby. Right away, he radioed Russell to let him know that something seemed to be moving toward the water. He asked if Russell had noticed anything strange on his monitor. Russell, now worried, realized he couldn't see the team clearly because of the thick trees, and the thought of them being out there in the dark made him uneasy. Both of them had already heard strange noises, so Russell told Ronnie to back up at least 200 yards from the lake. He stressed that their safety was the top priority. Ronnie agreed, confirmed the order, and started moving away from the lake. Meanwhile, Mireya was watching the woods with her binoculars. She spotted a shadowy figure moving through the trees but couldn't detect any heat coming from it.
Ross, there are multiple huge heat signatures directly across from me. They're walking across the forest and it almost looks like they're poking their heads around the tree.
This made her both excited and nervous. Maybe they had found something important, but the danger was also real. Mireya quickly radioed Russell, explaining that she had seen a dark shape pass by. Just like with Ronnie, Russell told Mireya to move further away from the water and take cover in the trees. The strange unseen movements were making him cautious. The woods get stranger as the team moves deeper. The strange dangers of the forest. Mireya did as she was told and began walking away from the lake. Russell couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. He couldn't see anything in the thick woods, which made the situation feel even more tense. As he backed away, the sounds from the woods grew louder. Russell reached out again to check if Ronnie could still hear the noises. Ronnie confirmed that the sounds were still there and they seemed sneaky and repetitive, almost like whatever was making them didn't want to be noticed. Russell started to think that something might be following Ronnie and urged him to keep moving further away and let him know when he was at a safe distance. But that wasn't the worst part. While Mireya continued scanning the area with her binoculars, she still couldn't get a clear view of what was moving. Her reactions suggested they were dealing with something very unusual. She described the figure as huge, the biggest heat signature she had ever seen. Then things got even stranger. She picked up another heat signature, indicating there wasn't just one presence in the woods, but multiple. While exploring the forest, a group of researchers encountered unknown animals just a short distance of 100 yards from where they were. For the research team, the experience was mixed with emotions. On one hand, they felt uneasy because they didn't know the nature of these beings or if they posed any danger due to their proximity. However, it was also an exciting moment as they might be discovering a new group of wildlife. Mireya quickly contacted Russell using her radio to update him on the situation. She reported strong heat signals coming from the direction opposite to hers. Mireya was thrilled by the possibility that they might be observing not just one, but potentially a whole group of these unknown animals, suggesting a significant discovery. Mireya then noticed something unusual. She described to Russell how the animals seemed to be moving through the trees, occasionally peeking out. This behavior made her think that they were not only aware of her presence, but were watching her closely. She repeated her observations to ensure Russell understood the gravity of the situation. From his vantage point assisted by a drone, Russell tried to monitor the scene, but the dense canopy obscured his view. Mireya reiterated her findings, mentioning she detected 4 distinct heat signatures initially, though 2 had vanished mysteriously, leaving only 2 visible. This indicated to Mireya that these animals were smart and possibly moving strategically as predators do. The disappearance of the 2 animals raised a concern for their safety, especially since the remaining ones seemed to have the ability to see in the dark, which put Mireya and her cameraman at a disadvantage. Recognizing the potential danger, Russell quickly contacted Ronnie, another team member, urging him to reach Mireya's location immediately for assistance. Ronnie acknowledged and started moving towards Mireya. He had to be cautious, navigating around a lake, knowing that the animals might be aware of his movements and could potentially ambush him. Just then, Mireya heard an unsettling sound ahead of her. Startled, she hoped it was Ronnie approaching. As the sound grew nearer, she called out to him, but the reply she received was chilling. Ronnie was still on the other side of the lake.
Hey, Ronnie, is that you in front of me?
I'm still on the other side of the lake.
This revelation left Mireya filled with fear and apprehension, realizing the noise was not from her teammate. While exploring the forest, a group of researchers came across unknown animals just about 100 yards away from them. The team felt a mix of emotions. On one hand, they were uneasy because they didn't know what these animals were or if they might be dangerous. But on the other hand, they were excited because they could be on the verge of discovering a new species. Each discovery brings more eyes upon them in the shadows. Encounters at dusk. Mireya quickly grabbed her radio and called Russell to update him. She told him she had detected strong heat signals coming from the opposite direction. She was excited because this could mean they were not looking at just one animal, but possibly a whole group, which would be a big discovery. But soon, Mireya noticed something strange. She described how the animals seemed to be moving through the trees and peeking out from time to time. This made her think that the animals knew she was there and were keeping a close watch on her. She made sure to tell Russell again just so he understood how serious the situation was. Russell, using his drone, tried to monitor the area, but the thick canopy of trees made it hard to see much. Mireya said she first spotted 4 heat signals, but then 2 of them disappeared without a trace, leaving only 2. This worried her because it seemed like the animals might be smart and moving carefully, like predators. This raised concerns about their safety. The two remaining animals seemed able to see in the dark, which put Mireya and her cameraman at a serious disadvantage. Realizing the danger, Russell called another team member, Ronnie, asking him to get to Mireya's location as quickly as possible to help. Ronnie acknowledged the call and started making his way toward Mireya. He moved cautiously, aware that the animals might be tracking him and could try to ambush him at any moment. But just as Mireya was waiting, she heard a strange noise in front of her. Startled, she hoped it was Ronnie coming to help. The sound got closer and she called out to him, but the response she got sent a chill down her spine. Ronnie was still on the other side of the lake. The realization hit her that the noise wasn't from her teammate. Mireya is hearing strange sounds and it feels like something is getting closer. She grabs her binoculars and tries to spot whatever it is, but she can't see anything. This makes her even more nervous because it seems like these creatures might be smart enough to stay hidden. Earlier, she crossed over some fallen logs, and now she wonders if that was a sign to keep people out. She starts thinking that maybe her friend Ronnie is playing a prank on her, but another team member, Russell, reminds her that Ronnie is too far away to be nearby. "Ronnie, is that you?" Mireya calls out, but Ronnie replies from the other side of the lake, saying he's still there. Russell tells Mireya to be careful and suggests she should start heading back since they don't know what could be out there. As Mireya begins to walk back, the noises get louder, making her more and more anxious. She looks at her cameraman, both of them hoping that it's just Ronnie messing around because the idea of anything else is really scary. Eventually, Mireya talks to Ronnie again using her walkie-talkie, and he assures her that he's on his way to meet up with her.
Ronnie, where are you right now? Are you walking through the forest right now?
Yes, I am.
Because I think I see you.
A short time later, they finally find each other and let Russell know where they are. They're relieved to be back together, but they still keep their voices low, realizing they're probably not alone in the forest. This whole situation makes them even more curious about their ongoing search for Bigfoot. Fans of the Expedition Bigfoot show are excited about the idea that there could be more than one unknown creature living in the forest. The team is excited too, but also careful because they might be close to finding a new species. This could change the way people think about human intelligence, but it also brings concerns about safety. The deeper they go, the more they feel watched. In pursuit of the elusive Bigfoot, Russell's team has come close to running into what they believe could be Bigfoot several times. They are very careful because they know how dangerous it could be to get too close without knowing how this creature might act. There have been moments when they thought they caught Bigfoot on camera, but the pictures were never clear enough to prove anything. Russell and his team are determined to find out the truth and share with the world whether Bigfoot is real or just a story. That moment was really something special, almost like setting off on a journey into a wild, unknown land. Imagine every sound you hear pulling you deeper into an untouched forest. This is exactly what Mireya Mayer and her team went through during their Expedition Bigfoot adventure, but I can't say for sure that it's something humans are capable of without solid proof. While walking through the thick woods near a big lake, they suddenly felt like they were being watched. 4 large figures seemed to be coming toward them, and what started as a search for Bigfoot quickly turned into a nerve-wracking retreat to safety. The forest is full of life, the leaves rustle, and you can hear animals in the distance. The team follows a winding path through tall trees, foggy valleys, and by the soft sounds of rivers. This area is not just beautiful, it's a place where myths and reality seem to mix. Every shadow and every breeze might be something more than just nature. As they went deeper into the forest, the smell of moss and wet earth filled the air. But that wasn't the strangest part. Soon they started noticing strong, unusual smells that didn't seem to come from any normal animal. As they pushed further into the thick woods, they stumbled upon something amazing. Huge rocks, as heavy as small cars, were moved far from where they should have been. At this point, I was searching for any heat signatures near the water that might show some kind of movement. No known animal, not even the largest bear, could have moved those rocks. This strange discovery suggested that there was something powerful and intelligent enough to change its surroundings in a big way. The team carefully noted down everything they saw, knowing that even the smallest clue could lead them to something huge. They set up cameras that could catch any movement and used night vision equipment to see in the pitch-black darkness of the forest. One afternoon, just as the sun was setting and casting long shadows across the ground, the forest grew eerily quiet. All the usual sounds disappeared, replaced by an uncomfortable silence. But that wasn't the scariest part. Soon they heard the sound of large branches snapping under something heavy. They froze, barely breathing as the noises moved all around them. And then, just as quickly as it had started, it stopped, leaving them with even more questions. On another day, the team had an even clearer encounter. While walking through a thick forest filled with old, towering trees, they found a patch of disturbed soil deep in the mud. Large footprints led away from the spot, but that wasn't the last surprise. Night falls, and the forest's secrets grow deeper, exposing the mystery of the unknown creatures. When they looked at the footprints, they realized they were made by something walking on two legs, with a stride longer than any person or known animal. Hair samples were quickly collected and sent for DNA testing. These weren't just moments of fear, they opened doors to deeper knowledge. Every new clue pulled the team further into the mystery of these creatures. As they uncovered more, the risks grew. The team tightened their safety measures, setting up stricter night watches and using drones to keep an eye on things from above. Strange markings on the trees kept Mireya and her team alert as they ventured deeper into the forest. The fresh scars on the trees were hard to miss, with sap still shining on the bark. These marks didn't look like typical animal scratches or bites, they suggested something much bigger, with sharp claws. It was clear that Mireya and her team had entered the territory of a possibly dangerous, unknown creature. In the middle of this thick forest, Mireya and her team were following clues about mysterious beings that were said to live in the area. They weren't just using their strength and bravery, they were also relying on advanced technology. Their equipment was almost like an extra sense, helping them navigate the quiet, dense woods. Thermal cameras were especially useful at night because they picked up heat, allowing the team to see animals that were hidden in the cold, dark forest. To their surprise, sometimes the thermal cameras showed strange heat patterns that hinted at large, intelligent creatures. This place has everything a big animal needs: food, shelter, water. I'm confident these cameras will show us what left those tracks, one researcher said. These creatures seem to move with purpose, unlike regular animals. The drones, equipped with powerful cameras and thermal imaging, gave the team a huge advantage. Flying above the forest, they could see things that weren't visible from the ground.
Oh, wow. Whatever it is, it's moving pretty fast.
Yep, absolutely.
From up high, getting a bird's-eye view was essential for mapping the area, keeping an eye on activities, and checking out places that were too dangerous or hard to reach on foot. The information gathered from drones in the sky helped plan routes and improve safety by taking a close look at the land beforehand. While their main goal was to find and document hard-to-find creatures like Bigfoot, every trip brought the chance of discovering something new, making their efforts always worth it. Mireya Mayer and her team carefully planned their path through the thick forest. The woods were full of sounds, some so quiet that they couldn't be heard without special gear. To pick up these faint noises, the team used highly sensitive audio devices. These tools caught sounds like branches snapping, leaves moving, and deep, mysterious noises that didn't seem to come from any known animals. But using this advanced equipment in the wild came with a lot of difficulties. The gear needed a lot of power, which was hard to come by in such remote places. This meant the team had to carry all their power sources, which limited how long they could run their devices. They often had to make tough decisions about which tools to use to save energy. There had been reports of nests found in nearly unreachable spots, with one in particular offering an amazing view. But that wasn't the toughest challenge. The wilderness was rough on their technology. Drones could easily get stuck in the trees or be knocked out of the air by strong winds. Thermal cameras had to be handled carefully to stop moisture from fogging up the lenses. The weather was always changing, forcing the team to adjust their gadgets constantly to keep them working properly. The equipment also produced a massive amount of data, making it tricky to sort through and find the most important details while out in the field. The team had to quickly figure out what was useful and ignore the misleading information. Even with all these challenges, the technology they used was essential for Mireya and her team to uncover the forest's hidden secrets. The nighttime discoveries only strengthened their determination to reveal the mysteries of the forest. What Mireya found in this isolated place was so important that she called her team together to review each discovery. Every tool and method was carefully adjusted to perform at its best in this difficult environment, where mistakes could be costly. The team's ability to blend high-tech equipment with traditional field methods showed their creative approach and strong dedication to pushing the boundaries of exploration. They ventured deeper into the dense forest, where the tall trees seemed to touch the sky and ancient rivers carved their way through the landscape. In these old and untouched environments, the line between what was real and what was just a story started to blur. Mireya Mayer's team not only explored the physical land, but also dug into the rich cultural stories and legends that had been passed down for generations. These tales of mystical creatures played a major role in the folklore of many communities, adding another layer of mystery to their expedition. Do you think blending traditional and high-tech methods could alter the authenticity of folklore? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts.